Hello everyone. I just want to take some time to have you review. Since we started solving equations, I want to constantly continue to go back and look at other operations with expressions. So take a look at number 1 and 2. We're dividing in number 1 and we're adding the two fractions in number 2. So pause the video. You don't have to state restrictions. Just pause the video to give these a try. And then if not, if you just want to watch as I go over these, that's fine, but please make sure you're really looking to understand how to do these. So pause the video if you want to give them a try first. If not, just let this play and follow along. All right, so for number 1, anytime we divide fractions, rational expressions here, we want to first rewrite it. We want to multiply the first fraction by the reciprocal of the second. So the times, and then now up top I'll have 20x minus 12x squared all over 4 minus x squared. Now I factor, I don't have to state restrictions, and then I cross out. So to factor my first numerator, there is a GCF. Always look for a GCF first. There's a GCF of 3x. What's left? X minus 2. In my first denominator, there's a GCF of 2, so I want to factor that out. So next we're going to have an x, or 3x squared, minus 11x plus 10. My second numerator, there's a GCF of 4x. What's going to be left? 5 minus 3x. And then in my denominator, that's a difference of squares. I'm going to factor into a 2 minus x. The 2's have to go first. And then a 2 plus x. All right, so we still have to factor this 3x squared minus 11x plus 10. So I'm just going to recopy everything else. So I still have a 3x times the quantity x minus 2. Make two sets of parentheses. Notice I still kept the 2 out in front. So the only way to factor 3x squared is 3x and x. And then 10, how about a 5 and a 2? We'll try that. And if I tried maybe a 2 here and a 5 here, this will give me a 6x and a 5x. Now my signs are going to be the same. They're both going to be minus. And then I just recopy everything else. So we do have quite a bit of factors here. We want to take our time going through them. All right, so looking at this 2 can divide out with this 4, so this will become a 1, this will become a 2. I cannot cross the x's out because they're both in the numerator. So if you notice here, I have the x minus 2, x minus 2. Here I have a 3x minus 5 and a 5 minus 3x. So these are opposites. So I'm going to put a negative 1 up here. And that's about everything that can cancel out. All right, so what I have left up top, I have a 2 times a 3x times an x, or 3x times a 2x. I'm going to have, and actually a negative, we'll have a 6x squared all over 2 minus x times the quantity 2 plus x. All right, looking at number 2, I'm adding fractions, so I need a common denominator. So I'm going to make 2 blank fractions. Notice this is just an expression. I'm not solving anything, so my LCD is n minus 4 times n minus 5. I'm going to go back and adjust the numerator, so the n plus 2 needs to get multiplied by the n minus 5, and then the 3n needs to get multiplied by the n minus 4. I do not cross out. Remember, my goal is to make one fraction. I only clear denominators when it's an equation. This is an expression. So I'm going to distribute, multiply the n plus 2 times the n minus 5, so we're going to get an n squared. On the outside, I'll get a minus 5n. On the inside, I'll get a plus 2n. And then last, I'll get a minus 10. Then I'll distribute the 3n here, so we're going to get a plus 3n squared minus a 12n. I'm just going to combine my like terms up top. So I have an n squared plus a 3n squared, so we have a 4n squared. This will give me a negative 3n minus 12n, so we have a minus 15n. And then we have a minus 10 all over the LCD, so I keep the denominators. So I wanted to practice a problem like this again because after solving the rational equations where we clear denominators, I wanted you to see the difference. These are expressions. All right, so here are the solutions to 1 through 4 from yesterday. I have an additional video posted that shows you going, as I go over the work involved So I show all the steps, so please be sure, try to correct them on your own, then watch the video if you're not coming up with these solutions. So check and correct. Please email me if you have any questions. So today's assignment, like I just mentioned, correct 1 through 4. And then go ahead and continue with 5 through 8 off of yesterday's rational equations worksheet.